Hello, in this clip from our Justia webinar, Expert Witnesses and Artificial Intelligence, Jim Robinson explores what artificial intelligence is and gives an overview of the role of expert witnesses in legal proceedings. Remember, if you want to see more Justia videos on law practice and legal marketing, be sure to subscribe to our channel.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about the use of expert witnesses and artificial intelligence. This is based on a lot of information that has already come out about expert witnesses and really how artificial intelligence is going to play into this field. So certainly as the founder of Jurispro, we have access to a lot of information about from expert witnesses. So we did a little opinion poll about expert witnesses and what their opinions were on AI. And some were very well versed on expert witnesses, that they knew what a part it was going to play in their businesses, that the computer vision intelligence, for example, was going to change the way courts viewed foreseeability. Others thought that the use of AI was toxic to their credibility, at least the type of clinical forensic work that they performed. Other expert witnesses just had a dim view and said the main thing is don't believe anything is from me without talking to me. That certainly to be a prevalent view on the use of AI by expert witnesses. Others were just happy that they didn't have to deal with it. Fortunately, I've had no occasion to use it in my work. One says, I use AI a ton, and in the radiology world, as a medical director for a few startups building AI algorithms to detect findings on head CTs. But the cases that are sent to me, I don't scan through the AI algorithms. I find brain bleed, fracture detection, and pulmonary embolism radiology algorithms the most sensitive and useful. One person, which really made me smile, said, I don't use AI. I have trouble with my own built-in biological intelligence. So there surely was a wide range of feedback regarding AI from expert witnesses. So really what we're going to do here in this webinar, I know we have a number of expert witnesses who are on this webinar as well, along with legal professionals, is we're going to really approach it from both sides. We're going to certainly focus on how legal professionals can use AI to research and to find out information. But as said by one expert, I assume that I eventually will need to adopt AI with my expert witness work. So just to give you an overview of the number of experts who were polled, we got this information. It was about 1,100 experts that were polled. 79% of those replied that they do not use AI at all. That this is just something that they haven't found a need for. They're hanging on to the past. That they found that the way that they're doing things so far has not been affected one way or the other regarding artificial intelligence. And it certainly highlights the traditional methods of analysis and testimony are still highly valued and relied upon regarding expert witness work. Those who did respond, that they did use some form of AI, and there certainly was overlap between these different types of AI. Perhaps not surprisingly, of that group who did say they used AI, they used ChatGPT or one of the large language models. Interestingly, 6% of them used Grammarly. That was one of the more shocking developments as far as finding out this poll. They use Grammarly to run their reports, their opinions, their emails through just to check on grammar. It was interesting that a large group of the experts, they thought that their grammar wasn't that great, and so they would run it through Grammarly. 3% created their own AI tools, which we'll talk about in just a second. And then 2% used Perplexity, which has become one of my favorite AI tools. And about 1% or so used others, which we'll talk about those a little bit as well. Going back to the experts who used AI to develop their own tools as far as investigation, a few of the experts sent examples of how they have used AI in their expert witness consulting world. One of the presentations that was sent to me was, can AI prevent another FIFA or FTX? And if you recall that FIFA was is the football organization, international organization that had a large scandal. The FIFA is the governing body for international football. They faced a massive bribery and corruption scandal. In FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange collapsed due to fraudulent practices. So the conclusion that was reached in this very good report was that AI could flag suspicious transactions in real time and potentially prevent such scandals. The presentation emphasized that the need for financial regulatory framework supported by AI could help reduce corruption and protect shareholders. Another interesting report that was sent using AI was on the use of AI in a research paper on migraine headaches. And in this tool, Dr. Rappaport, among others, they developed a digital diagnostic tool to diagnose headaches. So certainly some experts are using AI in their own research. And so we'll talk about really what is expert witness and artificial intelligence. And we'll go through it in this way. We'll talk a little bit about what we're talking about when we talk about artificial intelligence and the role of expert witnesses. Certainly the one that's the most prevalent, most widely used by experts and indeed by legal professionals is generative artificial intelligence. We'll talk about procedures, good use practices for prompt engineering. We'll focus on researching experts with AI and, of course, its limits, how AI can be used for expert depositions and expert witness reports, and the use of AI by expert witness themselves beyond and setting up their own artificial intelligence to do their own studies. And we'll end with a question that I know makes a lot of expert witnesses nervous, is could AI eventually replace expert witnesses? So as far as expert witnesses go, and what we're talking about is we're talking about those who come in and they offer an opinion, something beyond the trier of fact that helps helps the jury or the judge understand the facts in the case. Experts are used in virtually every litigation that goes to trial. One study reported that 86% of cases involve expert witnesses that go to trial. They're most common, of course, in complex or technical or scientific cases such as personal injury, toxic tort, medical malpractice suits, and the like. Experts, of course, are generally used by both sides. They are really necessary. That in most litigations, as we said, that there is going to be an expert on both sides. And indeed, if there is not an expert on one side, that can make the difference in a case. And one of the cases that's somewhat near and dear to my heart, because it happened in my hometown of Burbank, California, there was a case involving floodwaters that had come down one of the streets in Burbank. And there was a determination of whether or not an expert witness was needed to talk about floodwaters and the use of this. And the plaintiff in that case decided not to use an expert witness. The case was Miller versus Los Angeles County Flood Control. It was a 1973 case, and it was a personal injury, and unfortunately it was a wrongful death case as well. The plaintiff sued the home builder and the LA County Flood Control District after the floodwaters decimated their home in Burbank and caused severe injuries and ultimately caused the drowning death of the plaintiff's wife. At the close of the plaintiff's case in chief, the trial court granted a non-suit in favor of the home builder because the plaintiffs had failed to present any expert witness testimony in support of their causes of action for negligence and strict liability. They thought it was within the knowledge of the common layperson. In fact, the court said that no, you needed to have an expert witness here, and that made the difference in the non-suit. It was tried on appeal, and unfortunately for the plaintiff, the suit remained thrown out, all because they didn't have expert witness testimony. Certainly, as far as assessing a case, for those who use expert witnesses, one of the biggest things that I hear from experts is for attorneys to retain them earlier in the case. That is the biggest lament for experts, that if we had more time to review the evidence, to go out to the site earlier, to develop deposition questions of the other side, your discovery responses, it really could have helped a great deal. So I would advise legal professionals who are listening in that if you're going to hire an expert witness, consider hiring them early. Pre-trial preparation, of course, they don't just talk at trial. They can help with cross-examination. They can help put together your discovery plan. Of course, they're needed to provide opinions and to rebut the opposing counsel, and credibility. If you have a well-qualified expert who can add credibility to a party's claims or defenses, especially where the reputation is well regarded, it can make a difference in the case. So let's talk about what is artificial intelligence. When I sent the poll out to the expert witnesses, it was amazing the results that came back about what their view was. Generally, when one refers to artificial intelligence, they're talking about, and this is all in general terms, about the simulation of human intelligence and machines. It helps solve problems. It is amazing how far it's come in a relatively short period of time. But really, a lot of people would say that it's just something that's been brought to the attention and that AI has been around a long time. Another part of artificial intelligence enables machines to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. It's problem solving is what it is. Although one expert witness put it pretty succinctly that artificial intelligence is just marketing BS. And I'll read a portion of what his reply was about artificial intelligence. You can see if you agree or not. He wrote, "Oh my God, I've been an engineer for 42 years, so you may have hit a nerve. Like all good experts, and as taught, I'll answer the question first and then ran it. Somehow this new technology buzzword has come into the media's attention, and now every company in the world is touting, our product is now enhanced with AI. That is BS. It's the same software with a trendy tag attached. Nothing has changed in the software. Once again, many people are being cheated and deceived by salesmen, especially non-technical people. But certainly because that sources like or new tools like ChatGPT came into focus, it's gotten a lot more attention. Generally, when one talks about what is artificial intelligence, they're talking about two different types. They're talking about a narrow type of AI or general AI. The narrow is something focused on specific tasks. The example is a virtual assistant, a robot that can play chess, or even Alexa. That Alexa, even though it seems like it can do a number of things, it's really limited to what it can do. And types of narrow, weak AI include face recognition or GPS or something like Google Translate that will do one task, one specific task. The Alexa one is really interesting as far as the narrow AI, because Amazon for the longest time was just something where you could ask Alexa to play a particular song or ask what the weather was or something like that, but that was it. You couldn't ask it something like, who do you think the best singer of all time is? Or what is my favorite song? It can't interact in that, but Alexa is trying to change that. This May article talked about that Alexa is trying to take on more of generative AI, and that'll be something. That there's about 500 million Alexa products out there that they are trying to see if they can incorporate generative AI to make it more interactive. And if you want something that's both very cognizant and just absolutely on point and very, very funny, is I encourage you all to check out the Saturday Night Live bit. You can find it on YouTube, called Alexa for Seniors. And it really was before its time. When it came out a couple of years ago, that was set up on the premise that those in the greatest generation, as they called it, had trouble interacting with Alexa So in this Saturday Night Live bit, they developed one that would answer to just about anything. So you could see, instead of saying Alexa, you could say anything. And the one that just cracked me up the most was Excedrin. And with that, then you could carry on full conversations with that. But indeed, that is really what we're talking about when we talk about generative AI and large language models such as ChatGPT. So LLMs, or large language models, which most people associate at this point with artificial intelligence, is a type of artificial intelligence that's modeled to design to understand, generate, and predict human language. And examples, of course, including ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, Microsoft's Copilot. There's certainly others. And indeed, there are so many artificial intelligence tools, large language model tools. There's no way that we're going to be able to address all of them here. I want to focus on ones particular to how they can be used involving expert witnesses, but they operate, the large language models operate generally on large data sets. They're trained on an enormous set of data sets that includes text from books, articles, websites, and other read material. The data can be used in different parameters, which we'll talk about. You can set it up so that you, as you ask more questions, it gets trained on what you're looking for, and it can fine tune, which we'll talk about. It can generate text. It can generate a number of different things that I think most people don't realize that's capable with a large language model such as ChatGPT. So we'll turn to ChatGPT. Well, you talk about an unassuming homepage. It's you just think about what is the power behind this simple page, and indeed, it's not too dissimilar for Google. I mean, you think that Google is powerful as it is and still is, and when it came out, that there's just very little that's here on the page. What ChatGPT is, it's a conversational AI model. Was developed by OpenAI. It's based on the GPT series of language models. Originated from a set of generative pre-trained transformer models. The first version came out in 2018. They come out with various iterations of it, the GPT-2 in 2019, GPT-3 in 2020. The latest one has about 175 billion parameters, which is the GPT-4, and they will continue to develop this as time goes on. So as far as I asked ChatGPT, what are you? And it says essentially that. ChatGPT is an AI-powered language model developed by OpenAI. It's designed to understand and generate human-like text based on an input it receives. The model is based on GPT, generative pre-trained transformer architecture, which is a type of neural network specifically trained for how a natural language processing task. So what does that really mean? Really, what it means is you can have a conversation with ChatGPT. I've heard it said the best is really what ChatGPT is. ChatGPT is, it's autofill. It's trying to determine, based on what your inquiry is, how are we going to respond? And if you really are interested in a deep dive into how ChatGPT works, I suggest you check out this website here that has a deep dive into it. It both presents it as a simple model about how you can interact with ChatGPT, how it works in terms of providing responses. But for those of you who really are interested in seeing how this works and how this prediction model works for what is going to be the next words that are going to be presented, I encourage you to go to check out this article. What is GPT doing and why does it work? In that article, basically what the conclusion was is it's just adding one word at a time. In that article, they use an example where they put in the best thing about AI is its ability to, and it looks at what is the most likely next word that's going to come up in our autofill. Is it the best thing about AI is its ability to learn, to predict, to make, to understand, to do? And you can see the various percentages what this has. This is a very simplistic model of how it works. It's a little bit more complicated about this. about how it comes up with the results, but this is the basic idea on how it works. So it's not just quite that, okay, we have a whole bunch of words and what's going to be the next word. The model kind of looks like something like this. And there's interactions between this. So the specific engineering of ChatGPT is pretty compelling, but it's still merely pulling out what is going to be the coherent thread of text from its statistics of conversational wisdom that it's accumulated. It's still amazing about how human-like the results are. Anybody who's used ChatGPT could realize it's like, wow, this kind of is like talking to a person. Now, at times, it's like talking to a person who's making up things as they go along, but it is still unbelievable how easy it is to interact with something like a ChatGPT. So again, really what ChatGPT is autofill. It's almost remiss, and dare I say almost malpractice, if one talks about ChatGPT without pointing out that the latest version of ChatGPT took all sections of the July 2022 bar exam and earned a score so high that it approached the 90th percentile of test takers. And I'm proud to say that Justia was one of the largest providers of data of content for ChatGPT at about this time. So really, we ought to give Justia a little credit for passing the bar exam. And it should be noted, by the way, that the previous version of ChatGPT didn't do as well on the exam. It flunked the multiple choice section, but it did earn passing grades on evidence and torts. Okay, so my duty is done now that I've officially talked about ChatGPT passing the bar. When you go to ChatGPT, you have a couple of options. You can still use their ChatGPT 3 up until a point. Use ChatGPT and you get to the point where it says, okay, you're done. You want to do more, you want to use, well, actually, when you first go there, you can use ChatGPT 4 and up until a limit, and then it kicks back to the ChatGPT 3, which there really is a difference. So they, of course, it's come on for them to sell their services. Their services are about $20 a month. And I'm sure there's going to be a time when that's going to come way down, but it really is, with all the technology and the infrastructure for something like ChatGPT, the price is pretty darn reasonable. I'm sure we'll look back on this and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're paying to use a large language model like ChatGPT. But for now, I highly encourage, for those of you who do use ChatGPT, spend the extra $20 a month. It's well worth it in the search results. And just to give equal billing and talk about some of the other large language models, Google has a AI. It's their Gemini. They launched it in May of this year. They rolled out a retooled search engine that will that they use AI. This was one of the first real big changes that they had done in a long time. For Google AI, this is their webpage for Gemini. It's an advanced AI model developed by Google, designed to enhance various applications and services with natural language understanding and generating capabilities. It's part of Google's broader efforts in AI. And again, it's another one of the LLMs. They have an opportunity for Google Gemini for business. They have a Gemini Ultra and Pro and Nano with different types of pricing structures, starting at about $17 a month. Microsoft also has their version of AI with their Microsoft Bing Copilot. A few of our experts did say that they've used Copilot. It's, as they tout, it's designed to be your everyday AI companion, making it easier to manage your work and personal tasks by providing quick, intelligent assistance. For example, you can ask Copilot to drop an email, to summarize a long report, or to do things like even adjust your Windows setting. You can use the basic version of Copilot for free. If you do want the more enhanced services, it's a fee as well. My favorite has become Perplexity. And a few of our experts said they use Perplexity. And really what Perplexity is, it's kind of a mashup. It's a mashup between Google and ChatGPT, but it's certainly not a replacement for either one. What it does is searches both large language models and the internet. And perhaps the most important thing about it, and why I think if you're going to choose a AI, you might be used to using ChatGPT, but Perplexity does one thing that ChatGPT does not, and that gives you their citations right there in the responses. And you can check and see where they got this information. And again, generally, ChatGPT does not go out and search websites in real time, where Perplexity will. And again, it's not a replacement for Google, it's not a replacement for ChatGPT, but it does combine the both of them. Perplexity calls itself kind of the Swiss Army knife for information discovery and curiosity. Essentially, it's an AI-powered search engine. And indeed, Google has incorporated its own AI into its search results. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm sure most of you have seen that at one time or another, that you will get some search results that have AI information as well. And as we said, it's like a lot of these large language models, they starts out for free, they hook you, and then they want you to pay the $20 a month. So whether you're using a ChatGPT or a Perplexity, it's certainly well worth it to buy the upgrade for the, $240 a year. It really does make a difference in your search results.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos on law practice and legal marketing. See you in our next clip.